Now, usually when I'm asked to experience smaller cars in their hierarchy, the excitement goes down because I've experienced better things. But is that always true? Well, today we have the Q2, Audi's compact SUV for the Indian market, and it's been a long time coming. So, is it worth that long wait, and should you really consider one? I'm here to find out what this product is all about. A jacked up hot hatch? A baby Q? Is it a good buy or a complete waste of money? Well, there are a lot of questions. Let's answer them all. But wait, before we dive in, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to stay notified to the latest automotive content. First things first, the dimensions. So the Q2 is based on Volkswagen's MQB platform and is identical to the T-Roc and the Karoq in terms of its size. But the four rings on the front and the crisp styling give it more character than these two. And not just that, the Q2 also looks significantly different from the rest of the Q family. The front takes a departure from the bigger Q SUVs with a slightly different treatment that makes it look younger. The nose is wide, the lights have good detailing to them, and the T-pattern DRL give it a signature look. Specific to the S-line trim is the sporty bumper, and it all looks very appealing. The sides feature some negatively offset wheel arches that house those smart-looking 17 inches. Not dramatic, rather elegant. What's sure to grab attention is the scoop on the side, neatly chiseled, and that gives way to a very strong shoulder line. Those C-pillars are really wide, and while they look good on the outside, they do hinder rear visibility a fair bit. The rear is subtle yet neat. The T-pattern lights match the ones on the front, and the coupe-like sloping roofline give it a very likable design. Neat, crisp, typical Audi. Now the tailgate on the Audi Q2 opens up to reveal what you would call a decently sized boot. But some very interesting figures here. With the rear seats left upright, the Volkswagen T-Roc, which is again based on the same MQB platform, offers 40 litres more. But when you put the seats down, the Volkswagen T-Roc will give you 250 litres more to play around with. Which basically means the rear seats on the Audi Q2, although they are finished extremely well and provide good comfort all around, they aren't the place where you would want to spend long hours in. And then you would come to these front seats with higher expectations. And why not? You've paid upwards the 50 lakh mark for this top-of-the-line technology trim. So what's it like? Well, the seats for one are really comfortable and very cushiony. However, they miss out on electronic adjustments. Then there is this dashboard layout with these circular AC vents and the design theme, which will certainly remind you of the Audi TT. It's all very opulent, of course, it's an Audi. Fit and finish levels are extremely good. And of all the things in here, you will certainly appreciate the Quattro badging on the dashboard, which is also backlit, and this virtual cockpit, which is very crisp, very intuitive, and gets quite a few different views as well. Then there's this 8-inch infotainment system, which feels a tad bit underwhelming for an Audi's technology package. The screen size is not the biggest, and the interface, well, there's no touch input, but what you get is this MMI trackpad. And although it's sleek to operate and the resolution and crispness is all up there, it just doesn't feel special enough. What will also leave you a little disappointed is the quality of materials down below. While the top surfacing is excellent with some very good soft touch materials, these bits just under feel too plasticky. So if the space isn't all that great and the features aren't the latest of them all, what makes the Q2 worth your money? Well, let's see what this button here does. That's right, start her up and the ultra refined 2.0 litre TFSI comes to life. Now this engine, this mill, is also shared by a lot of larger cars like the Škoda Superb, the Tiguan Allspace, and even the larger and more luxurious Audi A6. Look at those things, big German tanks, and this feels like a German ninja in front of those, agile, nimble, and very chuckable. With just 1430 kilos to move around, this engine feels rather punchy and lively in this baby Q. So much so that the rest of the shortcomings are passed on just like a blur. The acceleration of the Q2 is very strong, it's very neat, and even in-gear acceleration is very joyous. The engine pulls hard all the way up to the 6,200 RPM redline, and it would want you to indulge in some spirited driving. And that's the beauty of this Q2. Other cars that pack this sort of performance are either too low to the ground or too large to be sprightly, but this is a proper driver's delight for the road conditions that we are blessed with, and that puts the Q2 back in the game. Usable performance. It's okay to drive it over broken sections a bit fast. It absorbs potholes rather well, and you wouldn't be left with a damaged wheel should you miss those highly visible, well-placed speed bumps. The chassis feels nice and tight, the ride feels sure-footed, and the steering feedback, well, that's brilliant too. I like it. And then there is that always so likable and always so admirable DSG transmission. It's silky smooth, it's very intuitive, the transmission responses are really good, and it's the perfect fit to that 2-liter TSI mill. Now the Audi Q2 also comes with the brand's patented Quattro all-wheel drive system. Of course, that doesn't mean that you can go on and conquer some mad trails in this thing, but what it ensures is good traction through all those weather conditions throughout, and it channels power to all 4 wheels in such a good way that your spirited driving is rewarded in a very generous manner. Yes, it lacks the roominess you would expect from a car this expensive. Yes, the features list isn't that impressive, and yes, this isn't the refreshed, facelifted model that was showcased a few months back. But if Audi were to pack the Q2 with all that, why would anyone want to buy their bigger Qs, right? And this isn't the kind of car that you would buy for rear seat comfort. I mean, I would be surprised if you did that. You would buy the Q2 for its utterly delicious driving dynamics, for its ride and handling that SUV stands, for its crisp design, for that punchy and rev-happy engine, for this silky smooth DSG transmission, for the Quattro all-wheel drive system, for that impeccable fit and finish. There are so many things that make it a proper driver's delight, and that is the charm of the Q2. I guess some might also want to buy it for those 4 rings on the grille. And well, if driving is something that calms your senses, you wouldn't be disappointed one bit.